We had 56K modem.
Yeah.
It took us 30 minutes.
I remember. I mean, unless it was like the tape days.
Yeah, but I mean, but YouTube wasn't nearly what it is 10 years ago.
Barely,
you're going back 10 years or so, right?
Like
YouTube wasn't there, and the internet was much slower, and it was there.
6K modem.
But I can understand how you had a lot more access being in Koreatown than he did in Australia.
what? I don't know, like Napster and stuff like that.
Napster. Okay, now the young people don't know what we're talking about. So what do you think of where K-pop is going and what it's become nowadays?
I think it really depends on the people right now who are making the music. It all depends on us. Lately, a lot of trend has been going the same way, we believe. But there are a lot of people who try to change the genre and then try to bring more fresh stuff on the table. So I think the people, the songwriters of today, they need to try really harder on making something happen.
So you're looking to help make a new sound.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's, like I said earlier, we like experimenting and trying new stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I'm getting the feeling that you feel it's a little repetitive sometimes.
Sometimes.
Is that?
Sometimes, most of the times. Sometimes, I don't know. It's just, a lot of. Lately, I've been thinking about a lot of. Just feeling a lot of repetition going on.
Yeah, replication, good one. And cookie cutter, there's a good expression for you, ladies and gentlemen. Cookie cutter music, when you have a cookie cutter, it's the same every time, right?
You put it on loop and in a medley, and it sounds the same.
It's the same songs again and again and again. So there becomes a little bit of a cookie cutter system to it, where they're always putting out the same kind of music.
Yeah, it's just like printing out music.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something to be avoided. Yeah.
We try very hard because the style it's not a fun style that you'll hear in K-pop music, because neo-soul, there's not many artists that will do that kind of genre in K-pop right now. So it's always a challenge for us when we decide to go into the studio and make an album. We coming up with what kind of whole package, and also just how we're going to put everything together, like the sound, what kind of instruments are we're going to use, because whenever we make a CD, we want to show a bit of depth in our music, not just not printing out music as we said before, but something, because we're all songwriters, so we want the listeners to actually feel what we're going through during that time of period when we're writing the song, and also just really expressing, because music, it's a way it's a way of expressing, and it's a message
and communicating
with the listener. So it's always a challenge for us, because we always, as we said before, a challenge to come up with the best to put on the table and print it out on CD.
Yeah. Well, and this brings up something that I've been a little curious about. How do you guys write your songs? You said you're all songwriters. How do you end up? I mean, that's a lot of collaboration. Who gets to take charge, and do you do different songs? Like, you're in charge of this song, or is it always just a group effort, or how do you do that?
Well, let me talk about songwriting first. If we talk about that, I think it just comes from personal experience sometimes. Just, from the most simplest feelings to somewhat of a hurtful experience. It just comes from everywhere. And when we're making an album, it's just we pick a vision how this album will be, and we kind of work our way up, just from song selections. So we just kind of all work together on that. Yeah.
So you just work together on all the songs, and
well, there are different songs, of course. Not all songs are same. Sometimes, Peter will bring like a laid back kind of R&B sound song, and sometimes Sky over here will bring like a little jazzy, type of song that you can mix it up with the urban
So
genres.
like one person will bring a
style.
song and say, "Hey, what do you guys think of this one?" And then
Yeah. And then
we
we're like,
critique each other.
right,
About
like what's the process is what I'm
then-
trying to get at here.
and then we decide to let's build up on that. Let's try to make something
Right.
out of that song, and then just it works out like that.
I mean, we work on songs together,
Yeah.
but then sometimes, because we have 3 different songwriters here. I mean,
Yeah.
we all have our different individual tastes in music. Although we listen to the same type of R&B music, we still have a different taste to it. So yeah, individually we work individually sometimes, but some other times we work together, and it just goes around like that. And because we do that, I think there's more stuff to put out on the table. So when we're choosing the songs, we have more selection on what kind of stuff we want to do.
What do you think you're trying to say through your music? We were talking about how it's communication. What are you trying to say through your music?
As we said before, personal experience. We want to send a message, or how I feel, and how we're thinking, how are we going to make the listeners happy or enjoy our music? So we try to put lots of message into it, and
There's a pattern of things, but we at the end of the day, we want to make good music and let our listeners be very happy listening to our music. In some way, with our words, we could inspire them too. I think those are what a good songwriter will really want for their his or her listener to feel.
Yeah, to feel those emotions and things. Okay. And so we touched a little bit on the Philippines a minute ago. What was the reaction when you went to the Philippines and Singapore and places like that?
Well, what happened with the Philippines was, before we actually went there, a famous TV show kind of like used our track. And it was a really famous TV show there, and with a lot of viewers. And some of the fans started going, "Okay, your music's on Philippine national television."
Right.
So it all started from there. A recording company in the Philippines contacted us through social networking and emails, and then everything led to the next. And next thing you know, we're flying over there, and then walked out of the airport. There's all these fans like screaming, and K-pop listeners and one-way followers. And then we did a whole bunch of this promotional tour over there with a One-Way Street album, Philippines edition, and just
wow.
Yeah.
Who's the most impressive fan